today with us Joseph Raj, who is going to talk about the skill of interpretation. So we are moving on. Joseph Raj is today to take the show. It's really going to be a show. It's not simply learning the skill. You already see Joseph Raj in the name Healing Prayer TV. Okay? So he is going to take you to another level. So welcome, Joseph.
Yeah, nice.
Stillness today. Stillness today. Yes, Joseph, it's your time.
Yeah, lovely. So good morning, all of you. I hope I am audible to everyone. If it is yes, kindly, yeah. Let me make sure with the message box at least or in the audio. Yes, yes, great, nice. Yeah, first thing to clarify, am I audible? Yes, yes, yes. Lovely. Then audio, technology wise is good. So good morning all of you once again with a loud voice, with a clear voice. Or what is a good counseling? In one sentence or one word, that's perfectly okay. You can type it because one word, which seems to be a very good counseling. From the client point of view, not from the counselor's point of view. Yeah?
Being a facilitator.
Facilitator, nice, nice. I am so happy. So we facilitate, nice.
Empathetic listener.
Yeah, that's all skills that we apply. Yeah. So we facilitate. It's a general term. Yeah, kindly.
Being a co-traveler.
Yeah, co-traveler. Superb, superb, superb. So in that way, normally people from the outside also have a different idea about counseling. Many says, what are you doing with him? I'm just counseling him because he is not okay. He has done a lot of malpractices. He is not going to school, or she has some other mobile addiction. So I am just giving a counseling. In the name of counseling, what do? Normally the people. Yeah, thank you. In the name of counseling, they give advice. That's it. So we call advice as a counseling? No. It's a bad way of doing a counseling is just giving advice. Now, what is advice? Lovely. Anybody? What is advice?
Throw direction to the client. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
That is called.
Show throwing directions. Okay. In other word, one word. What the people is trying to do. See, somebody is in a vulnerable state. Who gives advice to whom? That's the first question. Second question, what do we do in the advising process? We are trying to influence the other person. Is it okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
One who is trying to give advice is trying to influence the other person so that he or she can get the idea of the person one who is giving advice. So in the name of advice, what we do, we are trying to influence the other person. The other person has an experience, the other person has an idea, the other person has a philosophy, the other person is convinced of something, and these people, one who is trying to give advice, parents or elder friends or even the equal friends or brothers and sisters, elder brothers and sisters, or anybody, even teachers or people from the outside, uncle and anybody, those who are in the higher position always try to give the advice to the vulnerable state people, and they are trying to influence them. You say that you are not going to the school properly. Why can't you go? You should go. See, maybe they are trying to influence the vulnerable people, or they are trying to pull them up to their state of mind or state of level. That's what happens always in the process of counsel, process of advising. Is that? Now, what is the in total meaning or word we are giving to the skills that we are studying these days? Advanced skills are called influential skills. See, there is a minute point I am trying to note you from the beginning. So this is very, very important for the upcoming counselors to know. In a normal platform, anybody in the name of advice trying to influence the other, as a counselor, I am also here. I am going to use the influential skill. Then what's the difference between? Where is the difference lies? Is my question more or less clear? Hi everyone. In the beginning we will have some discussion. Only then, say, it's like fishing. If you have a exact cook for the fish, you get the correct fish. If you don't have the proper cook, you cannot fish the proper fish, then you get any fish like. So our question, we make it clear. In the beginning we discuss and we come to a point. For that we will be entering into the skill as a answer. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. We need some interaction so that we go. Now the cook we are trying to pick up. My question is about, just think about the process of advising that happens in a place. Think something that happens in the counseling hall as a counseling. Here, the second phase, it's not the basic counseling skills. We have finished and we are moving into the influential counseling skills. Here, what's the difference you will find? So this is very, very important. Advice and counseling, we have already known, they are not same. But now, where do the difference lies? Okay, it is in the client's mind the difference lies. It is not what you do that is important. Note the statement somewhere top of the page and have it anywhere if you are a counselor. It is not what you do that is very important as a counselor, but it is how the client has felt that is very important in a counseling session. It is not the counselor's action that is going to be noted. It is the change or it is the behavior of the client that is going to decide whether the counseling has done or not. Whether the process has been done as a counseling or the process has been done as a advice, it is the client's mind and the experience and the reaction that is going to decide. In that way, if the client has not felt something as a advice, or if the client has not felt something as if he is not being pressurized or influenced, then that makes a lot of sense. For that, we are going to learn what are the skills. The skills that we are learning can mislead us, can misinterpreted into a bad kind of influencing. So the name is given as a influential skills, but they have to be done without influencing, without making the client to feel that I am being influenced. Because who comes to a counseling? One who has been always encountering a negative reaction. The client is a client because she or he had encountered in the past life lot of negative experiences. And thus it has made them to feel bad about. A small baby is in the house. Somebody comes, uncle or aunt, anybody, and they ask, what's your name? And the baby looks like that. And the parent says, answer her. Hey, wait, give her time. What's the problem? We ask. And the parents say that, no, she always like that. You are asking, she is not responding. What kind of respect she has? And the baby is clinging. The uncle came. he is the reason for my parents scolding. See, baby, she does not know that because of her time taken, the parents are scolding. In her mind, what will be registered as is that it is the uncle who made me to get scolded from my parents. The uncle is bad. I will not talk to him. I will not talk to her. That's it. From the childhood, this kind of, for example, I have given, this kind of negative experiences go on added up, and now they are in a position of a client. They come to the counseling session. Here also, if we are pressurizing them, if you are influencing them, they will suddenly feel and think, in my family also nobody listens to me, nobody accepts my view, my point of view. Maybe, minimum, maybe they may, that point of view may not be to the standard, that point of view or that reference may not be in a position to accept by all the people, but the client goes on feeling every time, I have been neglected, I have been not heard, I have been wounded, I have been judged badly, I am a bird, boy or girl. They come to the stage. Now they are in the counseling session. Here we have all the, particularly is that confrontation skill. Now you think about that confrontation skill. Reflection of meaning, you think about that. The client has a meaning for what she has done or he has done. And the counsel is trying to slowly reinterpret the meaning. In a point, the client can feel, sir, that's my experience, sir. I am 25. All through my life, I have been that kind of meaning given. Now you are trying to interpret in a different kind of meaning. Are you mocking at me? There can be a possibility, because the interpretation of meaning, it is not you who is doing first time for the client. All through the life, there have been. The teachers have interpreted different kind of meaning. As a lazy boy, as a idiotic boy, as a mischievous boy or girl, there are a lot of interpretations. Meaning has been given already. We are in that position, because it is very, very important. Know that as a counselors, kindly. In the second phase, it is very, very important to note that what we are going to do is not something new for the client. The client has always experienced this as a negative thing. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. Because we are in a position with in front of the clients as not to remember their parents, as not to remember their teachers, or not to remember their life partners, or not to remember anybody who has already tried. Before taking them to us, they would have gone the same process. That's very interesting, okay? As a counselors, we know that. It is very, very interesting. All that we are going to say, all that we are going to implement, or that we are going to do in the counseling process, do you think the people in the family, they would not have done that? They would have done that process and it has not worked. So they are taking to us. If you are trying to give a different meaning, if you are trying to confront on the one hand and the other hand, that's a normal sentence we use in the confrontation skill, very interesting skill. On the one hand you say this, on the other hand, on the one hand you say that I have to get a 95% of the mark, that's happy. On the other hand you say that you are not able to get up in the morning. What do you say or what do you think? And the same thing my parents also says, if you don't get up in the morning you will not get a higher mark. How will you going to get? I don't believe. We are also more or less nearing to the same point. You contradict to yourself. Yes, I contradict also problem. I have this idea, but I am not able to do. What do you want? There is a possibility. There is a possibility. So this awareness we are supposed to have when we use the counseling skills, particularly influential skills, particularly advanced skills. So small words they are adding, particularly with the confrontation, what they are adding is that empathic confrontation. In the life, what the client have always encountered is that confronting. That is authoritative way of confrontation. See, that's a small difference, that's all, nothing more than that. Confrontation done, The teachers do the confrontation, the parents, even the elder people or even the equal friends, they confront with authority. Here, somebody who has a truth in himself or herself, the counselor has the truth, but at the same time they confront with the empathic mode. Totally empathic. That is a new experience we are trying to give the client. It is something new for the client. They have empathic love. That is, some friends, what all things these people do, they accept. Or even the lovers like or anybody, whatever they do, they accept plainly. Otherwise, there is always authority figures. They confront with the negative words. But here is a man, here is a girl, here is a madam, maybe the counselor. Here is someone in front of me with a empathic, but at the same time confronting. That new expression or new feeling we are trying to give to the clients. In the same way, here interpretation. See, interpretation, if you look into the dictionary, interpretation, it is interpreters. Who are interpreters? It is a linguistic term. There is already some literature that is being interpreted. We are trying to use that word into counseling skill. So this is therapist interpretation. It's very clear. It is therapist interpretation. Then again, this skill is very in a dilemmatic position, very in a dilemmatic condition, because people have always interpreted the client into something. We are also going to do the same. Because interpretation, the client has some interpretation for him. They have a meaning for that. They are not living the life without any meaning. But at the same time, they have all kind of feelings within themselves. All kind of contradictions within themselves. We could see that contradiction. We observe that deviant behavior. But at the same time, how we are going to interpret it. So in that way, what we are trying to give is that interpretation skill, that is therapist interpretation in a psychodynamic school is given in a different word, insight. A new look, a new perspective for the client. How do we do? Particularly psychodynamic school always takes this insight as a very major role, major skill, because they are dealing with unconscious things. Psychodynamic school deals with unconscious of a client. In that unconscious, it is mess. Every feeling has been put into, and the client is in a position because she or she is very emotional. It's like it that has a major role in the psychodynamic. It means it is not here. It is in the physic. It is a drive. Some people, they may not be in a position to think. They may not be in a position to accept or understand what we are trying to say. They will be crying like anything, then they will be in a silent mode. Two extremes we could see. If at all they are in a middle position, we can try to talk. It's not a cognitive therapy. So reframing, confrontation, empathic, and it's not in a cognitive position. That is reframing we will be seeing. Now it is interpretation is for the feeling particularly. It is in the gut level. It is in the willpower. It is through the brain, through the cognitive only we are entering. But it is not stopping with cognition. It is feeling that are more added up. So in that way, how we are going to alter the interpretation or meaning, because the meaning is very important. The client has a meaning. For that they are doing something. Now we are touching that meaning. So this is therapist interpretation is giving new meaning. First is about giving new meaning. Second is about giving new reason. The therapist is trying to explain to the client, okay, these are all the reasons that has made you to come to this level, okay. Now, Is there any reason, any other reason? Then we slowly enter into. No, sir, there can never be other reason because of this person, one who is always sitting nearby me. He has been always disturbing me, not able to concentrate on the studies. It is because of him I am like that. Or it is because of my parents. From my childhood, they have never accepted me. They have never loved me. They have never appreciated me in front of others. My elder brother, elder sister is there. Always they have been appreciating him or her. Oh, he is a nice boy. She is a nice girl. She is always obedient. This younger one, no, all over the world they are like that. This is nonsense. See, from my childhood I have been. So it is because of my parents I am now a trunkard boy. If they would have shown little love, okay, you are much worried or you are much disturbed that it is lack of love of your parents. Yes, that's the point. Okay. It is because lack of love your parents, you are in that position. Yeah, there can never be other reason. Okay. Would you like to bring anybody into that for this kind of state? No, sir. No, just I'm asking you because I do not know. Just I'm asking you, okay. Maybe your friends, sir, you are trying to accuse my friends for that? No, I cannot say that. Okay. Can I take this into this kind of sense that you are much loving with your friends? You care more for your friends. You respect more your friends. Can I take that sense? Sir, here I think not like that. My friends, okay, but it's my parents. See, they will jump there. This is trying to interpret. The client has a meaning. The client has a reason why I am like that. It is due to my parents. So now I am trying to the therapist interpretation for the position, for the situation in which you are. Is there any other possibilities? They will not say yes. So in that way, we have to take a long route. What is a long route? Why it is a long route? Because if you are entering into this interpretation, therapist interpretation, mostly if the client is more emotional, we go for the interpretation. If the client is more cognitive, we go for the reframing. Because reframing, more or less the same concept, more or less the same idea. The reframing is called cognitive reframing. For the people, those who uses the brain more, cognition more, we can easily take them into reframing because they are ready for a fight with you. But the people with a more of feeling, that's what psychodynamic is always there. They collect, they are with, they give free association. They can come out, the client can come out with all that is in the unconscious, subconscious, everything that comes up. Slowly they duck down, then slowly they say they are trying to throw some kind of insight. So this insight is giving new meaning, giving new reason, or explaining new explanations for their behavior. These people are already in an emotional state. If you are giving a new explanation, they will start saying, because your explanation would have already met with somebody else, with somebody else. So in that way, we take a long route of little by little, interpret their every step and make them to have a new insight. That insight is, this is very important, this insight is not known in explicit ideas. The client with the emotional thought, the client with the emotional level of high, with a psychodynamic attitude, they will have short ideas about, they can observe in their life in a short span. We are taking them out. That is, implicit meanings are to be taken away. We are making them to understand there is a implicit meaning in everything. The explicit meaning of your mom and dad putting you down is, the explicit meaning is to wound you. Yes? Yes, boy, I accept. See, you are a small boy growing up, and the family members are trying to compare yourself with your family members, other elders or youngers. So as you are growing in the age of 5 or 6, it is very hurtful. It is very wounding. That's true. See, that meaning we cannot change. We should not change. I am very strong and emphasizing, as we are counselors, I am emphasizing this. In a client state, we may not emphasize interpretational meaning, but here I am asking you as a counselors, when you are into the influential skill, kindly recognize the feeling, meaning, validate the meaning of the client. Never devalidate the meaning of the client. That is very important, because whatever they have felt is true. Whatever pain they have experienced is true. That's very interesting. But we can add something new. We can give them a new insight by saying that, yes boy, in the age of 10, okay, it has a wound. It is still there. Okay, you are not able to forgive your parents. And what you feel for your state, that it is because or due to your parents, they have not given you love or care, or they have wounded you. Okay. Now your age is 25. Now you are in a position of entering into a marital relationship. Suppose in the age of 22, if you would have married, now you have a baby. It's okay. Now, what is the meaning you are trying to give? Now what's the meaning you are going to give for the future? See, it is always your look is into past. I validate that. That's true. What you wound is correct. What you have wounded is quite normal. Anybody. But now. See, the insight is taking him from past to future. The insight is not saying that, no, you have to accept that your parents, they were, because of having concern for you, they thought you are a very talented boy or girl. So if dealing like this, you can come up in your life. So they have been giving. If you are emphasizing in that place, yes, we will be doing something wrong. If you can emphasize about future, this is insight. This is psychodynamic, superb. Your unconscious is correct, because that has been formed like that. Your id is like that because it has been formed like that. But now, if you can go in the same way, what are the consequences you are going to meet? So there another skill we use, but at the same time we validate. So in the therapist interpretation, what is very important is that validating the meaning of the client, validating the experiences of the client, validating the philosophy of the client, validating the emotions of the client. It is very important. After validating everything, we can just ask them, go on ask them, not 4 or 5 times, even 10 times, we can slowly, okay, what you say is correct. If you don't like to talk that matter, it's okay, it's your personal, you feel wounded now also, okay, then what else you want to talk? We ask them. See, sometimes the counselors give an alternative option. Okay, you are wounded a little bit on that topic. Okay, we will go to the next topic. No. You give them. Okay. Now, what else we can talk about? Or you would like to take a little break? Anything is okay for me. Anything. Oh, no sir, break is not okay. Then they may jump into anywhere. That's up to them. We salute them. We take a respect for them. Okay. Then slowly we can come back. Now, can we once again have a little clarity about what you have said? Because see, a counselor is like a mirror in front of you. Whatever you have come up with, I can work. If you are not coming out with, I cannot work. Sorry, it's merely a business relationship. You know that it's a professional relationship. You know that. So to understand more, I am asking. To understand more, I am asking. If at all I can understand, I can discuss at least with you. I can understand you more. So little bit. So in that way, as we are asking the client slowly in a point. See, this is Carl Roger, our moderator. Francis is good at that. I am so happy about that. I am good at cognitive, so I mostly deal the clients with the cognitive kind of thing. But our moderator Francis is always with. In that way, he knows better than me. In that place, it is giving space and asking the client to come up with this interpretation is superb. They come out with. So in that way, explicit and implicit. Thus we add new knowledge, new understanding, new meaning to client, and they themselves accept, they understand. Now there are psychodynamic schools we have seen, because it is psychodynamicism is with id, ego, superego, mentally dealing with id, particularly unconscious. In that unconscious, it is the insight that can make the client to come up with, and that the skill of interpretation can do. Now other non-dynamic schools, what do? They have this question: why do we limit the client's autonomy? Because the client has a meaning. Now the therapist, by giving a new meaning, is taking the client into another set of mind. Let the client come out with anything that he likes or feels. So this kind of criticism is non-dynamic schools they give. Otherwise, client's readiness to accept, that is very important. If the client is not ready to accept, we have to little bit wait. I can give you an example for this. The girl of 20 has lost her father. It is a very sentimental scene. She is always emotionally disturbed, and she has come for the counseling. In a place she was going on explaining that I see my father often nearby me. I feel that he is into the house. There are a lot of things. For that, see, now she is in a dilemma, in a position. My father being like that disturbs me, because even after the death, he is not able to get a peaceful mind. In a Christianity, they have this concept, okay? The soul has to rest in God. My father being here, that kind of concept I am having. Another one is that if my father is going to the heaven, that too is disturbing, because I want to be with him. See, this is a dilemma of a client. So slowly she was saying that my father, even after death, is not that peaceful mind, a lot of things. Now I had a little question, small question, because the girl is worried and afraid. When the father's movement or the smell is in the house, she is not able to sleep. She is worried much. She is being disturbed much. There are a lot of things involved. So slowly I spoke with her. Okay, I am trying to give an idea about, you just say what do you feel. Okay, now a man is killed by 4 people. If the arrow is there, if the arrow, like movies, no, she was saying some movies also, this Indran movie also she was saying like that, no, my father is here, going. I said, if that single man killed by these 4 people has a more power, what will happen? Can he take revenge of that 4 people? It's for a small case. Take it for in a larger case. In a border, people are shot to death, the soldiers. If the soldiers after death, they have power, they are coming into the life, what can they do? See, very, very important. The girl told, sir, I don't like to enter these kind of interpretations, because it hurts me that my father is not nearby me. See, I was trying to interpret, giving meaning from a larger point of view, taking her to a deeper level. As she entered into, She felt, stop sir, I don't like these kind of interpretations. I said, okay, perfectly okay. My purpose is not to wound you or hurt you. Just because you were disturbed by this, you are not able to sleep, I thought, why can't we think like that? Then we had a session, we went. The next session, she started saying that, my father is no more with me, sir. He would have been somewhere rest. It's very interesting. A minute point, I am able to talk to her. I leave. Then after the session, she went. It would have come to their mind. This is influential skill. We don't influence straightly like the parents. Come, yes or no. Say yes or no. As they are going from the counseling session, okay, I said some interpretation. They accepted. Wow, superb. Nothing doing. It works. It takes time, but it works. That is influencing. This is the difference between people, those who are outside, people, those who are inside the therapy hall. Lovely. One idea I have given. Such a long time I have taken. Hi, all of you. Hello. Yes. Everybody is in the line, listening.
Fantastic session.
Oh, thank you. It's nice. Lovely. So some questions or some clarifications to be made, just we can have idea about.
Hello friends, Joseph is a nice teacher and a good storyteller also.
Very interesting.
He will take you to wherever he wants you to go.
Voice modulation.
Voice modulation. Great.
Lovely. Thank you. It's nice.
Sir, can you please give one example and narrate it?
Yeah, example for interpretation, no?
Process of interpretation alone. Just one give example, then fire questions in that.
Yeah, this process of interpretation only, the last I was just explaining, the girl has a meaning for life, the people after death, what will happen. I was just trying to interpret that point from a different point of view, and she was stopped, and then after the session, she felt and she came with the answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. The interpretation, how it happened, how I stopped, then how it came with, because they should not feel that they are being pressurized and making them to accept the therapist interpretation. Yes, lovely. See, the points are so simple. I always used to say that why we need a webinar classes always. We have every subject knowledge in the internet. Our friend Kuhul, he is a very nice fellow. From anybody's source, he will give. The best friend in the world, Kuhul. Always we respect. So all the subject materials they can give. But how do we process and how do we make that subject knowledge into ours? Is this kind of clarifications with the webinar only for that. So the interpretation, skill of interpretation, you will have in a short note in the Google, even in YouTube, there are a lot of people, they are going on explaining this and that, but this concept is something new that I would like to share with you. That's what I started. Difference between advice and this counseling, the therapist interpretation. Influential skills, more or less, they influence, but how we do that makes sense. Even in rapport building, in few sessions, it would have happened like that. Even the hypnotic therapy, they say that if the people, those who come to you in a state of vulnerability, only then the hypnotism works. In that, this interpretation or even the influential skill of confrontation has helped few to build the rapport. See, it happens only for the lovers like. That's what they say. In the front side, first side fight, then go for a friendship even. In the school friends also. In the beginning they would have been fighting. So confrontation, fighting, struggling or making disagreeing. Yes, sometimes ends with. So even in some cases, they can happen. But that's not normal rule. That's what we are trying to say. Even for few, the advice would have helped. But that's not rule. By rule, advice should be avoided. Only this interpretation, in this therapist interpretation with the empathic condition helps. One more thing I can share with you regarding this. The cultural difference has a lot of meaning in this interpretation. Because the words are the three main words. One is meaning, another one is reason, another one is about these feelings. The interpretation is given new meaning, giving new reason, creating new feeling. See, this is the purpose of interpretation. So in that way, how do we pose or how do we give a different meaning? The meaning is not taken away from anywhere else in the world. Every client has a meaning rooted in their culture. So we should know that cultural identity, little bit cultural clarification, that will have a major role in this interpretation. So it is because of that culture they have that meaning. So if you are challenging the meaning, or if you are asking them to reinterpret, give a meaning, they have to check with their culture. Culture of respect, for example, new meaning. Now there's a case is going with me. The girl is from abroad. She was in Canada. Now the age is around some 80. The parents are from our area. They from the childhood, the girl is born and brought up in Canada. Now they could see that the girl is not adaptive to our situation, our culture. They are little worried. They never liked the baby to come up or grow up in the Western culture. So they have brought up her here. Now she is here for some 6 months like. She is fed up. She is into crisis. She is into depression. Just because the culture has changed. Not able to rooted. Now as we are talking, see, for small exercise, sitting in front of people, elders at home, having crossed legs. This is a small thing. Sitting crossed leg is not respecting the elders in front of us due to our culture. And for her it is very quiet, normal, quite natural. Even this is a case, this is a problem in the counseling session the parents are bringing. And even she came and she was sitting like that in the counseling session. It's as a counselor I can understand. I have not dealt with. As it was going on, the parents told, even see here she is like that. Now we are going to interpret the behavior. To whom to be explained? The parents, making them to know. See, it is a born and brought up culture of Canada that she can be like that, and never felt it is a irrespect there. But here it is a different meaning we have. So it will take little time even for the client to understand, because it is not simply the meaning that matters. It is a physical behavior also involved. Then slowly we told her, oh, how do you feel? Are you going to live here itself, or you want to have a life partner in Canada, or going to have, because she was coming in that way. Father, it is very difficult for me to adopt here, so I will let me live there. Let them find a partner to live in Canada. That was the proposal she was coming with. Now the culture has a major role in that case. It is not it's a big case I am dealing with you. Another one small case is also there. That is also there in a family, there is a marriage happened, new marriage. Daughter-in-law, one who came for the boy at that house, daughter-in-law used to say, okay, let's go have meals, let's take the plate. The word plate is in English, okay. She used to speak like that. That, no, boy's mother-in-law has taken it into a wound, saying that the girl has an ego, she always speaks in English. Because the mother-in-law never uses the word plate. The mother-in-law always uses the local word, something, take that. So the mother-in-law uses the local word, very local word for that, and she says plate, and she says that, no, daughter-in-law, when do I was speaking English? And particularly this mother-in-law told me, always that plate and that chuck, see, chuck, plate, there are little words, but they are created a complex conflict. The interpretation of meaning of the attitude of the daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law has taken in that way. Here the interpretation skill is a must. I have been using that. How you have misinterpreted the meaning is not that she is educated, she would like to show to you. It's a behavioral pattern of your daughter-in-law like that. So it took a long time, and there are many examples I asked her. Okay, is that okay? Is this clear? Not your boy has not never told like that. You see some few families, how do they do? How it came? Then slowly she understood. Okay, this egoism is not shown in anything else. This English knowledge is not shown in any other part of the life. Then these English words need not be in a position to say that she is showing superiority. Slowly the mother-in-law came to the position, then there happened a healing process. That's a therapy. So cultural differences very, very important. Yeah. Yes, lovely. It's nice time being with you. I am so happy. Being one unit is something very, very superb. And I have to thank our moderator Francis. It's such a long effort, always very enthusiastic and organizing our people and contacting with you, communicating with you. It's something wonder and wonderful. And the group also very active, very interactive. That is very, very important, because we are in a webinar class. The interaction is very, very important. It's nice.
Thank you, Joseph. I would like to take this moment to thank Joseph for taking a lot of efforts to present before us for this advanced counseling skills. Okay, he's a busy person. He's been visiting many colleges and schools for counseling, and he also does a lot of private practice in counseling. So amidst all the program, even during lockdown, I think he is very busy. That's what I hear from him. Sometimes I don't get his dates. For some sessions we ask for him, and he says I got some other already booked. I'm really happy to be with Joseph, working with Joseph. Joseph is part of this Atma.